Welcome, my name is Dora from Yoga with Dora if you haven't practiced with me yet. And tonight's practice is really a nice little restorative practice to open up the lungs. If you do have a bolster, grab it, but don't worry if you don't, because then just grab a blanket. A thicker blanket would be quite nice because we're going to roll it up and use it like that, okay? And also if you have a couple of extra pillows or blocks, then grab those. I forgot to grab them, so I grab them now. That can come as a handy. So basically, whatever you can lay your hands on, just grab them. And then come into a comfortable seated position. We do look like we're ready for a nice relaxing class. And this type of classes, the restorative classes, are really nice when you had like a busy day, you had a lot of going on, just to come back to the center, or when you don't feel like on your rest day, when you don't feel like a stronger practice. But these practices actually really come with a very deep changes in deeper layers, deeper tissues. It's very good for creating like a mental clarity and just coming back to our center and restoring. So let's get started. If you grabbed your props, allow yourself to come into a comfortable seated position. Roll the shoulder back, lengthen the top of the head up, and arrive into your physical body. Root down with the sit bones. Allow yourself to feel comfortable in the lower triangle. Lift the top of the head up, lengthen, relax the shoulders, soften the eyes, connect to the breath. This beautiful rhythm of rising and falling, inhaling and exhaling. Checking in, how you're feeling tonight. What are the sensations in the physical body? How are you feeling in the mind? What are the thoughts? Being aware of your breath. Then bring the hands to the heart, left palm touching the heart center, right heart coming over, just making sure that you have this gentle connection to the heart center, rolling the shoulders back, lengthening the spine here, making your intention for today's class. A class intention is to relax and let go, open up the lungs. Just allow yourself to soften here. And then release the hands, open up the eyes. We're going to come into the first posture. So for this one, we're going to bring the legs, the soles of the feet together, open the legs up. You can play around with how close you have your feet, and you can put your little blocks or pillows underneath the knee. We're going to have the bolster quite close to the sit bones, and if you have another blanket or another block, you may need it as well. So if you have just the blankets, have the blankets flat, and we're going to lay back down. So it's going to be a reclined Baddha Konasana, and you wiggle around until you feel comfortable. Feel the support of the head, comfortable in the legs. Make sure that the support is high enough for the hips, and you wiggle around until you find that your lower back is comfortable. It should be restorative, so it should feel really comfortable. You allow the chest to open, hands come to the side, chin tucked in. and arrive into the reclined, supported butterfly position. Just really wiggling around until they find the comfort in the pose, and I'm just having a quick peek at the clock. We're going to stay here for 3 minutes, so make sure it's a posture that feels comfortable. Connect to the feet, notice how the soles of the feet are coming together. Notice how the hips feel, just relaxing them down, allowing the gravity to help you, breath by breath releasing. Really be mindful that the lower back feels happy here. Find the comfortable position on the bolster or blankets. If you don't have bolster, you can have a couple of blocks sideways as well underneath. So just gently elevating, we're giving this support to the spine. And the head can be a little bit higher, tucking the chin in. Notice this gentle opening in the heart, palms are facing upwards to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. And just surrendering here. Allowing yourself to soften into this pose. Connecting to the breath. No matter what happened today, what's going on around you, just allowing yourself to find this posture, wiggling around until the posture feels absolutely comfortable. And then the breath can flow freely in there. Enjoy your pose. Enjoy your breath. Sometimes life happens and all our buttons are pushed. And the aim of the yogi is to become neutral to this button pushing. So we can just come back to the breath, come back to the posture, and look back on the day, and just reflect. And just stay a little bit like an observer, not getting involved in the circus. Knowing that every single time our buttons are pushed, it's just showing us that we are not in the center yet. So it nudges us softly back to the center. Allow your body to release here. Soles of the feet coming together, creating a beautiful circuit in the legs. Upper body open and relaxed. And then slowly rolling off to the right side. You can release the blocks or the pillows from underneath, and you can release the blanket, but keep hold of your bolster, or if you have a blanket. And we're going to come into a side, laying on our side, so laying on the right side. Make sure that the bolster or the folded up blanket is high enough that you have like a lift on the armpits. You bring the hands, elbows in line with the shoulder, you relax the head in there, And then align the body that the hips are stacked up on top of each other. And we just relax here. Hands can come forward. Roll the shoulders back. Maybe lift a little bit and wiggle around. So find a position when you feel that comfort in the pose. And just relax in here. So we're coming through a sequence of 4 positions. In the first position, just really connect with this space in the right armpit. So you're breathing, notice that you're lifting a little bit and you can breathe into the right side of the lungs. Nice and soft. And we were in the reclined butterfly. We had this gentle opening of the heart, breathing into the front of the heart. And then moving into a second leg position or second position, bend the left leg and just bring it in front of you, rolling the shoulders back. Make sure you stack the hips up. Find a nice little support that feels comfortable and just surrender here. So we still have this beautiful opening in the right armpit and breathing into the space and add it a little bit more on the hips. You can always close your eyes if you feel comfortable with that. Just allow your face to soften, the gaze to come in between the eyebrows. If you have the eyes open, just focusing on a point, a nice soft gaze. And slowly moving in to the next posture. Lifting that left leg and bringing it in, so the left knee coming towards the left shoulder and hugging that knee in, rolling the shoulders back, stacking the hips on top of each other. You have a nice little opening in here, still feeling the relaxing, the releasing in that right armpit, and just opening up in the hips. And as you're bringing that knee in, massaging the left side of the body. So you can relax it or bring it in as close as you can. Just surrendering here, breathing deeply. And you're only staying here for a minute as well. If you practice this and you have more time, I quite like to stay in each position about 2 to 3 minutes. So moving into the next variation, bring the left hand on the inside of that left knee. You can just rest the left palm on top of the foot, or if you want to, you can thread it underneath the leg, and as you thread it underneath, you bring it from the outside on the top. So just on the inside or the outside, or you can stay in the previous version. Make sure that your hips are still stacked up on top of each other. Breathe deeply, nice and soft. Feeling that opening in the right armpit still. Relaxing the shoulders back. Just allowing yourself to settle so there's an opening in the upper body and a gentle release connection in the hips. And these practices, restorative practices, are very vata pacifying, so calming the wind and the ether element down, which is what happens in the autumn in the northern hemisphere, that the weather gets cooler, days get shorter, darker. The air and the ether elements are in abundance. And then release the leg, bring the hand down, extend the leg, and just roll over towards the belly. Let's hope the microphone will be okay here. And you roll the bolster or the blankets underneath, so your armpits are underneath. It's underneath your armpits. You can have the head lengthening up like a sphinx. You can rest the head or you can even bend the hands and hold your head. Make sure that you lengthen in the legs and you feel nice and relaxed in the sit bones, allowing the buttocks to relax. And just surrender here. So feel that you are lifted in the front of the chest. Allow the back body to be open. And with each breath you're taking, you're massaging the abdominal region, the internal organs. Just relax into the pose. We're staying here for 2 minutes. And just really letting go here. Feel the lift of the chest. And lengthening in the abdominals. And just surrendering here. And breathing into the back. Softening your breath here. And we're going to slowly transition to the left side. So if you wish to, you can just turn around. We're going to do the same here. So you turn to the left side. I'm going to turn around, so I'm not showing my back to you. So it's really up to you if you want to get up and just go to the other direction, or you just turn around, creating a little bit more space. Putting underneath the armpits, hopefully the microphone will be okay. Aligning the legs. The elbow is in line with the shoulder, rolling the shoulders back. Maybe lift a little bit, reposition. It could be that one side is a little bit more sensitive as you're laying on the side. And actually, when we come into these postures, I talk about it when we get to the final pose, but we're actually pressing on marma points, acupressure points. So the bolster underneath the armpits, the elbow. And when we're laying on the floor, the whole of the left side of the legs. And it may feel that it's like a massage. Breathing into it. Feel the opening in the left armpit now. Just breathe deeply. Enjoying it, closing your eyes if you feel comfortable with it. Softening the gaze. Moving into the second variation, bending that right leg, bringing it in front. So find a comfortable position, checking that the hips are aligned so they're completely stacked up. Shoulders are aligned. Breathe deeply. Surrender to this pose. So all through this sequence, we're opening up the lungs as we come into a side bend. And we're lifting here so you can breathe into this area a little bit more. The left side of the lungs. In our swings as well. Opening. Creating space in the rib cage. With this gentle release. Slowly moving into the next version, bending that right leg and hugging it in towards the shoulder. Just relaxing in here. So you're pressuring on the inside of the elbow and outside of the knee as you bring them together. When you bring the leg in, you're pressing on marma points on the right side of the body. And then moving into the final posture. So either just bringing the leg on the inside, the hand on the inside and resting on top of the foot, or spreading it on the knees and bringing across. Hips are nicely stacked. Release into the pose. Breathe. And then slowly relaxing the leg and turning onto your back. So if you have the bolster underneath the armpits now again, and just resting here. If you can put a blanket underneath the head, that would be brilliant, or a block. So you're lifting the head and you're not letting the head hang. But if you don't have anything, just have a few deep breaths and then come back. So the blanket or bolster is underneath the armpits again. Just realign here and relax. Feel this soft opening in the heart, just melting into the pose. We're not staying here for long. Breathe into the front. Allow yourself to relax here. If you have your head back, just make sure you feel comfortable, but do come out if it's too much having your head back. And then we slowly come out. If you want, you can bring the hands to the head and very slowly lift and lengthen and come up a little bit, lengthening up. Since we have the bolster, why not putting it underneath the knees, coming into our Shavasana. You can have a blanket underneath the head, or you can cover yourself up with it. Today it's nice and warm here, so normally I would need the blanket. So notice if you really be aware of how you're feeling in the relaxation pose, because we can cool down quite a lot. So come into a nice comfortable pose. Maybe you haven't tried with the bolster underneath the knees yet. It's so nice and relaxing. Hands come either resting on the belly or the chest, or away from the body, comfortable distance, palms facing upwards. And just allow yourself to melt in here. Noticing how the point where your body meets the mat, and just release into those points and surrender. If your mind is busy anchor it down to the breath, noticing this beautiful cycle of inhaling, expanding, filling up, exhaling, releasing, letting go. Just a few minutes here, really giving yourself this opportunity every now and then just to be. Whenever you feel ready, start to bring the awareness back into the fingers and the toes, gently moving them. Bend the knees, bring the legs a little bit closer to you. And then make your way to the right, turning completely to the right side, resting on the right arms, bringing the knees in line with the hips. Whenever you're ready, come down with the help of the elbow and the hands. You can again have the bolster in front of you into the final position underneath the knee. Rolling the shoulders back, bringing the hands to the heart, closing your eyes. And just taking a moment to reflect in here. What are the sensations after a restorative practice? How did your body react? Have you learned anything about your physical body during this practice? How did your breath react? And there was nowhere to move, nowhere to run, but you were still. And how did your mind react? It's actually restorative and yin practices are very, very soothing for the mind as we come back to the breath and the body. But it takes practice. And quite often, what we need the most to balance ourselves is what comes with a little bit of difficulty. So just slowing down, breathing deeply, coming back to the center. Bring the hands together, create heat between the palms. And then transfer that heat to the eyes by covering the palms over the eyes. And let the eyes open up in the comfort of the palms, blinking the eyes open. And then separate the fingers and give yourself a lovely little facial massage, hairline, behind the ears. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.